Hello, and welcome to the first South Jersey Creatives at the Table event. Today, we're lucky enough to have Soraida Martinez here with us. She's a local South Jersey artist and the creator of Verdadism, which is a style of art that accompanies written social commentary with the visual works. Soraida is also very active with SJCA and working with our change team to help reach out to underrepresented artists and organizations and communities throughout South Jersey. And we asked Soraida to be our guinea pig today at this very first of these events. The events were really born from a project that you may have heard us talking about. We've been working on something called the South Jersey Cultural Asset Map Project. And this project is something that SJCA has been trying to work on for some time. We're leaning heavily on partners and organizations throughout the state to help us gather data so that we can amass one central hub of information that lists all the artists, organizations, cultural groups, creative businesses, festivals, and other cultural assets that the South has to offer in one central location. We've heard from many of the groups that we're working with that this is something that really lacks in the South, that they don't know how to find each other to collaborate or find artists for programs. Artists don't know where to find galleries or organizations where they might be able to show or sell their work. Community groups are often looking for artists to help with social impact projects or programming of their own to do fundraising or to help bolster the strength of their community. It's something we believe very deeply is a vital and useful resource for the South Jersey cultural community. And as we continue to work on the project, you'll hear more and more about ways that you can get involved. As I said, it's a long-term project, so it's going to happen in phases. This first phase is one in which we've reached out to our partners like the local county cultural and heritage offices to work with them to get the data about their re-grantees and some of the smaller groups throughout the state, the South, that we may not have on our radar yet. We've also been working with Sustainable Jersey and the municipalities who've already completed creative inventories for their particular municipalities. We're working closely with the folk life centers in South Jersey to gain information about the cultural communities that surround those sites and teaching artists and exhibitors that they have worked with. And we are continuing to gather data from sources throughout the South. We've only been really entering data on the map in this first phase for a couple of months now, and we've already grown that database from about 100 to about 300, and that's really just scratching the surface. So we have some pretty high hopes for the project. We're getting great feedback from the community, and it's something that we hope that everyone can get behind, help us promote, help get involved by sharing your data with us, letting your audiences know that they can submit cultural assets to us as well. There's also a story collection component, which is really important to the project. That's really us collecting stories from community residents about what these cultural assets mean to them, how it helps them hold on to their cultural identities and traditions, how it strengthens the youth in their communities, and all of the wonderful things that having these assets can bring to a community, or losing these assets can cause struggle within these communities. So we're going to house all of this data on sjca.net as an interactive GIS map that will link to profiles on our site that give images, web links, social media, space for narrative component, all of that on those profiles, so that we can help anyone who's on the map put their best digital foot forward and help cultural tourists find them, as well as their peers in the cultural community to find them. And then we'll be using these stories that we're collecting from community residents to create a story map component, which will really illustrate the value of these cultural assets and help to prove their impact and necessity in creating a strong and vibrant South Jersey cultural community. I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you, and without delaying much further, I will give Soraida a bit more introduction, and then we'll let her show you her gallery virtually before we take questions and answers about her work or about anything else that you wanted to bring to the table and share with the group. So, Soraida Martinez, since 1992, is known as the creator of Verdadism, a unique art style where each painting is accompanied by written and social commentary. She's received many awards for her thought-provoking and visually stimulating art style, including being chosen by the U.S. Department of State as one of the 15 most prominent Hispanic Americans shaping the U.S. cultural scene, and by Huffington Post Latino Voices as one of the 10 best Latino artists in the U.S. Soraida's Verdadism paintings address sexism, racism, stereotyping, and other social issues for the purpose of promoting hope and peace and to teach tolerance for social change. Many educators use Soraida's paintings and art book to teach their students about tolerance and diversity. The Verdadism Gallery is open to the public by appointment only. Soraida has a new exhibit that is opening on February 15th, and you're able to view that in person by appointment only. So I will include all of that information in the chat, as well as sending that to you with our thank you email for attending today's event. So without any further ado, I will let Soraida's video play, and then we will ask some questions of Soraida.
Hello, I'm Soraida, the creator of Vedaism. Vedaism is a hard-edge abstraction with written social commentaries. I created Vedaism in 1992 to raise awareness on racism, sexism, and stereotyping. Today I'm going to give you a virtual tour of the Vedaism Art Gallery, teaching tolerance through Vedaism art. Welcome to a virtual tour of the Vedaism Art Gallery. I'm going to take you around and read some of the titles of the paintings and explain some of the commentaries. I'm going to start off with this one, which is about Atlantic City, the arts, and systemic racism. The first painting here, which is the jazz musicians of Atlantic City, modern colonialism, money, is actually about a painting that I did when I was a teenager. I would go to Atlantic City with some friends to listen to the jazz musicians. And one time, one of the jazz musicians told me that they were so excited that the casinos were going to move in there and they were finally going to be able to make some money. But what happened is when the casinos moved in, they actually just did away with the whole culture of the jazz musicians in Atlantic City. The next one here is called The Battle of the Rice and Beans. This is about Latinos. What we have in common is that we all speak the Spanish language, and also a lot of us eat rice and beans. But the painting is about the fact that a lot of Latinos discriminate against each other, and I feel that in order for us to make social change, we have to all unite, because we're all lumped into one group and there's a lot of discrimination against us to begin with, and we need to make social change, and the only way we're going to gain some power is by actually uniting. Moving on to this painting here, which is called the La Latina. And the painting is actually about when I started to paint in 1992, my Vedaism. A lot of Latinas were so happy that I was bringing up a lot of issues that needed to be brought up in the society. So they were happy that I was speaking out. And I, painted this. It depicts the actual aura of the Latina that I came across. Now this one here is called Women Working Together, and it's actually about women being negative towards each other. I painted this in 1995, and I feel that women have a lot of power because we're nurturers, and as nurturers we have children, and we can change a lot of minds. Because we can teach tolerance, and we could teach kids how not to be racist. So as women, we can actually change the whole society. Here we going on to this one here, which is called, the title of this one is Between Two Islands. The painting is about me when I was a little girl. I was born in New York City, and then people thought of me as a foreigner. So I thought that when I go to Puerto Rico that I felt that they were gonna accept me, but they didn't. So I was like between these two cultures, and it's actually an immigrant experience, and it's a universal experience of people moving from one area to another and being between these two cultures that really don't accept you because you're not like them totally. Now the other painting here is a little girl from Harlem, and I painted about the fact that I was born in Harlem and lived there until I was like 14 years old. I had good times and sad times. I always wanted to be an artist, and I also wanted to be able to express myself through the arts. Now these two other paintings here, I painted in 1992. And I painted it to bring it out to the school system, to the classroom, and actually raise awareness on racism. And I wanted to bring it out to have a conversation with the kids, mostly like in the second, third, and fourth graders, about racism. A lot of educators, they were very positive towards it because of the fact they felt that it was a good thing to do that. And I'm going to read some of the titles of this first title, which is called Please Don't Be Prejudiced in My Presence. And this painting is about when I was a teenager in South Jersey. I would be with some of my friends, and we would be, having fun. And occasionally they would forget, and they would say something racist, something about Puerto Ricans, and forgot that I was Puerto Rican. So that's why I entitled this, Don't Be Prejudiced in My Presence. The other painting here is what prejudice looks like, and embodies what I think a prejudiced person looks like. In fact, it's an imbalanced feeling. And kids know the visual language, so they get it right away when they see a painting like this. And it's friendly, and it's also encouraging to have a conversation about racism, and they feel very non-threatened to do this. The other painting here is called Interracial Family, the way society sees it. And when we moved into South Jersey, my mother is a white Puerto Rican, and then my stepfather was a black Puerto Rican. So this depicts what I felt that people were looking at, because when we would walk into places, people would look at us very strangely. They were not used to seeing people like us. So this is what this painting depicts. Puerto Rican stereotype, the way you see me without looking at me, is a painting about stereotyping. There's a lot of stereotyping in the United States. And this is actually about false information that was given me throughout the years, like in corporate America. Some people actually told me that they never even met a Puerto Rican woman. So I had like some funny information given to me by somebody that told me that they thought that Puerto Rican women never shaved their legs. So it's a satirical painting, and it's very powerful. So people actually can get the fact that what I'm talking about when you're stereotyping somebody and have a preconceived idea is not really that cool to do that. The other painting here that I have is speaking to the label kids. I'm totally against labels, because when you label somebody, especially like when you label a person minority, I've asked kids, what do you think minority means? And some of the kids actually said, well, that means we're less of. So when you label somebody, you actually, especially kids, it's toxic to their minds. You're doing some damage when you're labeling. And the school system has a lot of labels where they label kids the fast learners, the slow learners, and the minority kids. So I'm totally for like doing away with labels. The next one here I have is called Living My Truth, Vedaism, and it's actually about living my truth and painting against racism, sexism, and stereotyping. I felt that sometimes when I took out my artwork into like academia or universities and colleges where I felt that I made a difference and with my message of tolerance. And then at other times I felt like I didn't make a difference. But the one thing that I liked is the fact that I did live my truth and it made me feel good. In the long run, living your truth is all what it is about, you know. It makes you feel better about yourself. Now this painting here is a painting about Puerto Rico, and I painted it in 1996. I felt that Puerto Rico really never had a future way back then, and I feel the same way now. We're like, there's a lot of problems there. I'm going to read the commentary about this one because it's such a small commentary, short. The weeping Puerto Rican Cuatro player. We all know Puerto Rico has an uncertain future. The weeping Puerto Rican Cuatro player is weeping because of the uncertainty of the future of the island of Puerto Rico, 1996. And definitely Puerto Rico is having a lot of problems right now. The last painting here is about healthcare in the United States, and it's entitled America So Sophisticated Yet So Primitive When It Comes to Giving Our People Medical Care. And I feel that medical care should be a human right. I think anybody should have medical care. And I feel that we all need to change this. And it's the only thing to do if you want to be a sophisticated society. Now, I thank you for taking the visual tour of the Vedaism Gallery.
Thank you for that, Soraida. So I'm going to stop my share now, and then I'll turn it over to Soraida if you have a statement or anything you want to say about your work before we start with the questions and answers. Oh, you're on mute. You have to unmute you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. We got it.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank everybody for logging in. The Verdadism Art Gallery has been open to the public since 2008. I'm located in Lindenwold, and it's by appointment. A new exhibition on February 15, 2021 will be opening, and the information you can get it at soraida.com with an S. You can go into my website. And I just want to talk a little bit about the art as far as the art style instead of just the social commentaries. Vedaism is a word it's Spanish and English, and it's made up by me. I created it in 1992, and it's Veda means in Spanish truth, and the ism is the English suffix for theory. And in brief, it means to empower yourself with your own truth and go for it. I felt that during that time, a lot of people were not living their truth. There is now a big movement on truth seekers, but in 92, most people, I felt that they were kind of went to sleep and they were not seeing the issues that I saw. as a problem. But however, this what is Vedaism? Vedaism as an art form? Well, there are three aspects to Vedaism: the painting, the commentary, and the philosophy. The painting style is a flat planes. They're flat planes, and they're just bold colors. And the second part, the commentaries, they're promoting social change. They're bold statements in terms that become activism. Long titles. I like long titles because if you don't read the bottom part, you'll know exactly what the painting is about. And the speaking style is almost like I'm thinking out loud because I don't go back and edit. I just want to do a snapshot of the moment of that time to convey some feeling with the paintings. And the last part is the philosophy, which is the third part of it. And the philosophy has 5 parts to it, which is to empower yourself with your own truth, which a lot of people are doing that now. During the time of 1992, there weren't too many people doing it, but now there's big movement of empowering themselves with truth. Second one is to live for the moment with respect for others. And I felt that people were not having respect for others in 92 when I created this. And I feel that it's even more so today. The third one is to give back to society. I think everybody should give back to society. We will not survive as a society if we don't give back to society. The fourth one is to keep an open mind. And that's we're having a problem right now with a lot of people that are not open-minded. And there's a lot of issues about that. And I think that when I went out to the school system, tell kids that they always have to investigate and think about things before they do anything. And the last one is to connect with your spiritual side. I don't mean in a religious way. I mean more in an existentialist way, where you examine yourself and really know yourself. And right now, where we're in isolation, is a good time to get to know yourself. And that's the only way you can really have a good foundation of who you are and the direction of life that you may want to take. Now, if you want to learn more about Vedaism, I wrote a book in 1999, the turn of the century, 1999, and it's about Vedaism, and all of this is in the book, and is available in my website, the store website, which is Soraida.com, and Soraida with an S, not with a Z. Now, at this point, your questions and your thoughts are very much welcomed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Soraida. So if you do have a question, you can either physically raise your hand if your camera's on, or you can raise your virtual hand to let me know you have a question for Soraida.
I think you have to mute them too, because they look muted.
They do. Everyone is on mute unless they're asking a question, just to hold down the background noise. Does anyone have any questions for Soraida? Vicki, I thought I saw your hand go up momentarily.
It did, and that was the reaction, hand clapping.
Oh, clapping.
But and I mean that.
Thank you.
Your work is so unique and so directly communicating, and it's very impressive. When this started, I was going to ask what Verdadism meant, and the explanation is so much more than I could have expected. So thank you. Thank you. And I guess I want to know, do you have any means of reaching out to others other than visitors coming to your gallery? And so I wondered, as an example, do you give presentations to school students?
I do have I do have a website that's been up for like 20 years, and I do have a YouTube channel, and I also do speaking engagements at universities. So yes, those are some of the things that I do, that I've been doing for the last 29 years.
Yeah,
It's a
way
long
ahead of the
time.
rest of us. Thank you. Thank you. And this is just truly impressive.
Oh,
And even over Zoom, over Zoom, your work communicates so beautifully.
thanks.
Thanks, Vicki. Anyone else with a question or comment on Soraida's work? Anne Marie?
Hi, your work is really very high. It's really, really interesting. I was a little curious about the palette and if it actually changed over time, because I wasn't sure if it was the lighting or that I was noticing that.
Yeah, most of the pieces that you saw, they were done like in 1992, all the way to probably like 2010. But my newer paintings have a different palette. They're more kind of like more muted and have more pastel in it, and it's the style is basically the same, but it has evolved into something different. Yes, and you're welcome to come to my gallery. I'm going to open up new exhibition which has my new paintings, and it will be February 15th of this month. It is by appointment only.
Okay, thanks, Anne Marie. Does anyone else have questions or comments for Soraida?
Soraida, I'll just mention when we first spoke about your work, you told me how much you went to schools and didn't get paid for it. So just talk about the opportunity to talk, the problems that face an artist in that there is a demand, but people don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, because to be a sustainable artist, you need to make an income like anybody else. And most people go and work different jobs because of that. And it's also like, if it takes a lot of time to do an exhibition. I mean, when I do an exhibition, I probably put like a week or two before I even put up the exhibition, because a lot of doing the paperwork and actually packing things and you spend a lot of money, and then once you're there, you have to put up the exhibition. So it's to donate that you couldn't do that as a sustainable artist, because you have to get paid to do that like anybody else. I mean, you wouldn't expect anybody else to do work for free. And I feel that artists suffer because of that, and we lose a lot of artists to that because they can't sustain themselves as artists. They end up getting other jobs, and then that's it. We're gonna do the artists. We're gonna take them out of society. I mean, there's only quite a few people only that could do something like that.
Very true. And Soraida, we got one question in the chat here. Is there a way to get on a mailing list for you?
Yes, you can email me at Vedaism@aol.com. Vedaism is VERDADISM@AOL.com, and I'll put you on the mailing list.
Did you say at AOL.com?
Yes, and you can also call at 856-346-3131 and leave a message if you want to come and visit the gallery, and it's by appointment. And it's open to the public. Anybody's welcome.
Great. And then we just had another question. Am I going to be sharing this video after the event? Yes, the video will be shared after the event. So if you came in late or wanted to review Soraida's work again, we will be releasing the video to all the attendees, and it will also be on SJCA's YouTube channel as well. Okay. Any other questions for Soraida? No? Okay, well, thank you again, Soraida, for being our first presenter here at these Creatives at the Table events. It was a great studio tour. Thank you, or gallery tour. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank
So,
you for coming, everybody.
yes, on your Saturday. Before we close, we have a few minutes left over. I just wanted to open it up to a general sharing session or question and answer. If there's anything you want to bring to the table, any struggles you're experiencing, stories you want to share, successes that you have had and want to let us know about, upcoming events, other speakers, programs, anything that you want to bring to the table, this is your time to share. So just let me know with a little hand raise if you're interested in sharing something. Mark, did you have something you wanted to share?
Hi, everybody. I apologize if there's background noise at my studio right now, and I have a voice class upstairs that might bleed through. First of all, Soraida, thank you so much. Amazing work, very interesting. And it looks like I'm frozen, or everyone else is frozen. Okay.
No, we can still hear you.
Oh, good. Sorry. And so I just wanted to compliment you and thank you for being the guinea pig to be the first one on this series, which I think will be fascinating. I'll join them as I can. And thank you to the Cultural Alliance for hosting these. And everyone, I'm sure, is struggling. And I can't wait till the governor upgrades more than 10 people in a room at a time. I'm only able to do one class at a time in our studio instead of 3. In the fall, I would have 3 classes going on right now, but I can only do one at a time. So I have a voice class going on now, and I have a dance class starting at 2. So good luck to everyone else out there, and keep holding on.
Thanks, Mark.
You,
yeah, it's a tough time for everybody, and everyone was, I think, putting a lot of stock in 2021 being radically different from 2020, and unfortunately it's not a magic wand that's going to make all of our troubles go away instantly, but we're in it together, and anything that the SJCA can do to help support you as you are out there trying to figure out how to make it work with only 10 people in a room, or wondering how you're going to get payroll paid, or planning your events for the next year when no one knows when we'll be able to be together again. All of those are struggles that we're sharing together, so we can put all of our heads together and come up with solutions that will hopefully lessen the negative impact until we're back to relative normal, whatever that ends up being when this is all over.
I think Denise had a question.
Denise, did you have a question?
Sorry, I actually have a question. I just wanted to say hello. Hi, Julie. It's
Hi.
nice that you're doing this. I am a storyteller, which means that it's performance that's interactive, near people. And since March, everything, as it has been with everyone else, has been completely upended. And the organizations that I work with and for myself have all moved to virtual platforms. So that has been a learning curve, which has been very steep, because it's very difficult to be the performer as well as the techie behind the scenes. But it's all coming together now, and I do a lot of that. And if anyone has thought of having story performance from your venues, or collaborating in any way, or even needs a helpful hand to do some of the techie stuff behind the scenes, I'm just saying I'm here, and it would be helpful for me to have opportunities to be able to do that in all of the various forms that might work. So thank you very much. And
Thanks,
sure.
And that brings up a good point. The learning curve has been steep with the switch to virtual, and with increased focus on your digital footprint. Your digital face to the world is really the only way that people are able to interact with you at the moment. And if you're available on the 29th, our virtual connection session this month is going to focus on that topic. And we've got Joe Mitchell from WHYY coming to speak about the importance of digital marketing during this time. And we have Bruce Mishkin from Advantex, who's going to come and talk to you about things you can do, simple tweaks and supplements you can make to your Google business profile or your website or your social media to get the most impact from that. So if tech is something that you're struggling with, please join us then as well, and hopefully we can get you some good pointers to help move you along and help everyone make it through this tough time. I'll put a link in the chat to the registration for that session, but all of that information is available on our website as well, and we'll be sending out e-blasts and things for that. But if you have any questions or need any help in any specific realm, please give us a call or send us an email and let us know. We can connect you to the right resources to help make your problems, hopefully a little bit easier to solve. So we have 2 hands raised here. It looks like Nancy's iPhone.
Yes, hi, that's me. I'm Nancy Zamboni. I don't have my full name on the phone, but I can connect from wherever I happen to be, so I don't have my picture on. But I'm so glad I got the email, and I very much appreciate seeing the work and Verdadism. And I think one thing I particularly appreciate was being able to see the range of pictures in a gallery. And I'm thinking that you must have been showing them in some other way, for instance, in schools. I don't know, did you print them in?
Yes, I've been showing them since 1992. I used to go to the school system and actually carry the original work. But since then, I go out and I speak at universities and some of corporate America, and to bring my message of tolerance and I been also featured in a lot of textbooks, the paintings. They use it for teaching tolerance. So yeah, I have new ones now. Like I don't know if you how long you've been here, but I do have the gallery that's gonna be an opening at February 15th, and there will be new paintings. And I do YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and I will really appreciate anybody that will want to follow me and subscribe, because I'm gonna be putting a lot of little video tapes of individual paintings with different subject matters. And all you have to do is actually just put Artist Soraida, and my YouTube channel will come up. I also have a website too, and that will be soraida.com.
That's great. I look forward to checking them out, and I think it's a great way to present. Obviously, it's worked so well, and I've been thinking about these things in terms of my work as well.
Great, yeah. And the Zoom meeting, I've done like these Zooms. I've done 3 so far this year, so that's another way.
Yeah, but it's so nice to see them full scale in a room.
Yeah,
yeah, it's unusual.
So I tried to put your YouTube address in the chat, but I apparently that's a different Soraida Martinez. So here's the second link. Don't just go to YouTube/Soraida Martinez. That's a different Soraida Martinez, but I put the other YouTube channel.
Usually you put just Artist Soraida, and you'll get my channel. And it says Artist Designer on it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Questions, suggestions? Okay.
Some people had a problem logging in. That's what I was told.
Okay.
I got text by Kevin Smith.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
Hi.
So-
What kind of, can you just share with me real quickly, Kevin, what kind of problems did you have getting in, just so I can follow up in the back end and find out what happened?
Well, I went to the website and they said you're already registered in, and I didn't have the meeting ID number, and I went to
Oh, okay.
Zoom and I didn't have all the information. I guess
Okay.
I couldn't find a meeting ID number anywhere. I just
Did,
got on like 5 minutes ago.
okay.
Soraida.
Well, I'll take a look at your registration and just make sure what happened, why you didn't get the notices. But we're going to share the recording so you can still watch the whole tour and take advantage of the discussion.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I was the same way, Julie. I emailed you and you sent me the
Yeah.
meeting ID and passcode, but I had never received it prior to then. And I had registered, I thought. So was an
Yeah.
email sent out with the ID
It was.
and passcode?
It came with,
When
did you
did
get a
that come?
confirmation? It came with the confirmation right when you registered. It returned an email
Alright,
that said
I-
you're registered
I'll
and
go
it
back-
had the
I'll-
link.
Julie, everybody.
I'll go
had
back
that
and double check.
from
Yeah.
other
And then
people.
I did send it out again about 45 minutes before the event to everyone who was registered. So let me just double check and make sure that you're
Yeah,
on the
maybe I didn't.
registration list. That's okay.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
glad you're here, but I just like to
Okay.
find out what's causing the hiccup so we can avoid
Of course.
it going forward. But yeah, I'll take a look at that.
And maybe I just never registered. I thought I did, but
Well,
so
I'm
many
glad,
Zoom
I'm glad
meetings.
you made it. And in any event, there are a lot of Zoom meetings. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you to everyone again for taking time out of your Saturday to spend with us and, take part in this first ever inaugural Creatives at the Table event. We'll wrap it up here for now, and we'll have another session next month with Pedro Fuller, and then we'll be trying to host one of these each month. So if you have an artist or a cultural leader that you think may have a topic or be interested in hosting, just have them reach out and we're happy to talk to them and possibly have them host one of our sessions. So if you look at the chat, you can see there are links to the survey. I'll also be sending out a thank you to everyone for joining, and you can get a survey link there as well, but I'll just repost all of those things. So you have a survey link, tell us how we're doing with these, and if you have suggestions on how we can improve, there's a link to sjca.net, SJ Camp, so you can find out more about our mapping project, how you can get involved by sharing data with us, submitting a cultural asset as a community member, or attending one of these events. And then just my general contact information, my email, my phone number. Any questions at all about this or anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Karen or I. We're here to help, and we just need your feedback to let us know what it is that you need help with. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Enjoy your Saturday, and we will see you soon.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.